Wild 94.9.
Hey, it's Gabby Diaz from Wild 94.9, and I'm sitting here with Dermot. How are you?
Hey, Gabby, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
So, I want to, me and her were actually talking, we had this like joint question. If your child was to be haunted by a spirit, what would you do?
I don't know. I'm glad that they wrote it down for me in the script so I knew what to do.
Right.
You'd like to think you handle things as well as the character that I play in the movie, but I don't know, if I'm really honest with myself, I'd probably really freak out or,
grab everyone, just go, we're out of here.
We're out of here, but then where do you go? To the hospital, and they say, here, take this and get lost.
Right.
Take her to what? Take her to a social worker to work at her, I don't know. But what my character does is he really intervenes,
Totally.
and he believes her, so I always liked that he actually respects his daughter,
Totally.
and that he does what she says she needs instead of what the parent thinks the kid ought to have,
Was there a part in the script that you were like, I'm not doing that?
No, I was game for the whole thing right from the start. I knew this was my chance to have a lot of fun in this world with this type of movie.
Right.
As many movies as I've done, I've never really done a full-fledged horror movie.
Right.
Obviously, Insidious is a favorite series out there, so I was lucky to get the part and join up, get in the game.
How do you prep for a role like this?
Well, you know what I did? I hadn't, to be honest with you, I had not seen Insidious 1 and 2. So I took this part, I met Lee, I liked him.
Right.
So I thought I'm all in. I wasn't going to balk at anything and say, no, I'm not doing that, it's too scary. So then I go to do my research, as an actor, and I watch the first two.
Right.
But of course, none of that's happened yet. Right?
Right.
And it didn't happen to me anyhow.
Yeah.
So it has no bearing whatsoever onto our story, except of course it was really helpful to see the tone and the type of movie and recognize that this movie deals a little differently than a lot of horrors in that it really plays on the mind more, and it's not like it shows you a murderer.
And it wasn't a bad ending.
Yeah.
I felt like, okay, because I was scared throughout the whole thing, I'm going to be honest, but when I saw that it was a positive ending, I was like, okay, I like this.
It is.
I'm not
And what he was able to do is take the pieces from those other two movies and then put them in this movie and have them, you kind of watch them come together at the end, especially when she sort of hires Specs and Tucker. It's just a great little, ties up that little thing.
I loved that part. I know
did too.
Lisa has a question for you about New Girl.
I recognize you from New Girl, actually, and you played Russell, right?
I played Russell,
Russell, yes.
Fancy guy or whatever they call him.
You know how you guys played True American?
Yeah.
Do you know how that game works at all? I'm just really curious.
Here's the deal with True American. I was in the scene the first time they played it, so they hadn't even really written out what everyone said in that scene. And there was the thing where you had to cross the room without touching the ground and all that. But honestly, can I tell you honestly, because it did catch people's imagination. They wanted to know the precise rules and how to play. There's no such thing. It was completely random that they're making up on camera.
Oh, wow.
I hadn't worked that way too much, where it's that loose. But Zoe and Jake Johnson and Max, the way they run that set, it's really fun. And it's not like they're just randomly making stuff up. But in that case, they kind of were. They had to. I just hear them talking about these fake rules. That was one of the more fun days I've had in years on that set. Standing on one chair with Max and Lamorne. There's that one thing where we're all on one chair. I'll never forget. That was the weirdest thing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. We
So nice to meet you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming, and tell all your friends.